He was a single dad, mopping floors to survive. When a scream split the park, a little girl lay on the path, her leg twisted, her hands shaking. He ran, carried her, and saved her pain. Minutes later, a black car arrived and the woman, who stepped out, would change his life forever. He didn't have much. As a hand jacket, a cracked phone. A bank app he avoided opening because numbers don't lie. His name was Ethan Cole. To most people, he was the man who swept the corners of a shopping mall before sunrise. The guy who stacked chairs in a community center after everyone else went home. But to one 8-year-old girl with star-shaped barrettes and a gap-toothed grin, he was a superhero. Her name was MIA. She'd learned early how to read receipts, clip coupons, and pretend not to notice when her dad skipped dinner. Every night, she'd leave him a sticky note on the counter. "You did good, Daddy," in crayon. With a crooked heart, Ethan had a dream once: a small carpentry studio where he'd make custom wooden toys, furniture with hidden stories, and teach kids to work with their hands. He even had a name for it: Second Chance Workshop. He sketched logos on napkins during night shifts, built mini prototypes out of scrap wood. And then life happened. Medical bills after Mia's pneumonia, rent hikes, hours cut, dreams postponed, then packed into a shoebox at the back of a closet. This morning, after his 5 a.m. shift, Ethan took Mia to the park. It was their ritual on payday Fridays. One hot chocolate, shared. One sunrise, theirs alone. The world felt kind for a minute. "Race you to the big pine." Mia laughed, darting forward. "Hey, careful," Ethan called, smiling despite himself. The path was slick from last night's rain. Her sneaker caught a raised root. The laughter snapped into a scream, then silence, followed by a sob that scraped the inside of Ethan's chest raw. He was at her side before the hot chocolate cup hit the ground. Mia's face was paper white. Her right leg lay at a wrong angle, not grotesque, just wrong in the way that makes a parent's body know before the mind accepts. She kept whispering, I'm sorry," as if gravity had been something she should have controlled. "Hey, look at me," Ethan said, voice steady even as his hands trembled. "Breathe with me. In, out. That's it." He scanned, swelling near the shin, obvious deformity. He remembered the workplace first aid course nobody paid attention to except him. Stabilize, comfort, don't move more than necessary. He slipped off his jacket, folded it, and eased it beneath her calf to keep the leg aligned. He planted himself between Mia and the cold of the path. Then he looked around empty park, early hour, his phone on 3%. A runner slowed. "Need help? Call an ambulance," Ethan said. "And can you grab my backpack? She'll need the water bottle." Mia's fingers crushed his sleeve. "It hurts, Daddy. I know, bug. Squeeze my hand, take the pain and put it in here." He offered his palm, and she did. He let the ache climb into his arm and settle in his chest, alongside all the others he'd collected. The ambulance siren found them first as a distant echo, then threaded through the trees like relief with red lights. Paramedics moved with practiced calm. "Suspected tib-fib fracture," Ethan said, surprising himself with how clear it sounded. "No head injury. Alert and oriented. No allergies, right, Mia?" She nodded, tears in her lashes like dew. The medic glanced at Ethan with quiet respect. "You did good, Dad." They splintered the leg, started an IV, wrapped a warm blanket around MIA. They offered to ride with him. He shook his head. "I'll follow." He had to return the runner's phone. He had to lock their bikes. He had to text his manager he'd miss the midday shift and accept the warning that would follow. Then, a black SUV rolled up, sliding to a stop like a period at the end of a sentence. The back door opened. A woman stepped out, poised, composed, expensive in the way that whispers rather than shouts. Dark wool coat, low heels, hair secured with something that looked like it cost more than Ethan's rent. Her eyes scanned the scene and landed on the small, shivering child. "Lily," she exhaled, and the ground tilted. The paramedic turned. You're her mother, the woman said, moving to the gurney. She took the girl's hand with careful terror. I got the alert from her watch. Her driver was nearby. She stopped, saw Ethan, and in that breath, something softened in her face. You stayed with her. Anyone would, Ethan said. Her gaze flicked to the splint, the blanket, the calm in the chaos. She seemed to file away the details the way some people count risks. My name is Ava Sterling, she said. The name hit like a headline. Billionaire tech founder. The world that builds itself out of zeros and ones, and she stands at the top of it. Thank you. Ethan nodded, uncertain what to do with gratitude that seemed too large and too small. At once ride with us, Ava added, already climbing into the ambulance. Please, asterisk. Ethan sat facing Lily as the doors shut. The siren became a sky-colored sound above their heads. Ava held Lily's hand with her left, texted someone with her right. She was the kind of person who could split herself into 100 versions and still run empires. Tell me about the pain, sweetheart, the medic said, sharp, then deep, like thunder. Lily's breath hitched. You're brave. Ethan said. Name 3 pink things. Cotton candy, she whispered. Flamingos. And my backpack, perfect. He turned to Ava. She did great. She kept breathing. Didn't move much. Ava studied him. Are you a medic? Janitor, Ethan said. Community center, he added, as if that explained why his hands knew how to hold stillness without breaking it. The medic smiled. A good one. Ava looked at Lily again, something like an apology flickering through her posture. I should have been here sooner. You're here now, Ethan said. It came out kinder than he intended. Lily blinked at him. Are you Mia's dad? He blinked. How do you know Mia? We were playing tag near the big pine, Lily said, then winced. She's funny. Ethan exhaled. The world is small. In all the right ways, Ava took a long breath. Lily, sweetheart, the doctors will help your leg mend. And this kind man. Her eyes met Ethan's, steady, made that easier. Lily squeezed Ethan's hand. Thank you, you're very welcome, he said, and meant it like a prayer. Asterisk, hospitals smell like lemon cleaner and worry. They rolled Lily through triage and radiology, then into a quiet room with a paper blanket and kind nurses who move around pain like it's a language. They speak. Ethan waited in the hall until a nurse waved him in. She asked for you, she said. Ava was there, coat folded, phone silent for the first time. The X-ray clipped to a light box showed a neat fracture. Clean break, the doctor said. We'll set it with a cast, she'll be okay. The Oka sat down beside Ethan like an old friend he hadn't seen in years. While Lily dozed post-reduction, Ava stepped into the family room. The city pressed its face to the window in blue and grey panes. She glanced at Ethan's calloused hands. You kept her calm, you thought clearly, that matters. He shrugged. It's what you do when you can't fix the big things, you fix the small ones. Ava considered that there's a debt here. No, Ethan said quickly. There's a kid who needed help. She studied him, as if searching for a flaw. She could respect. What do you do? Besides keep the world from falling apart quietly. Odd jobs, night shifts, and I used to build things, woodwork. He almost swallowed the sentence. Saying it out loud made it real enough to hurt. Used to, he nodded. Dreams expensive. Life got there first. Ava looked past him to where Lily slept with 2 braids like commas framing a small sentence of a face. A muscle in her jaw softened. I built my first company on borrowed belief, she said. Someone took a chance on me when I only had a napkin sketch and audacity. Her eyes returned to Ethan. What did you want to build? A small shop? Second chance workshop? Make furniture that tells stories? Teach kids who don't fit neat boxes how to work with their hands? Give what I never had. Silence filled with something warm. Ava nodded, as if aligning 2 columns in her mind. Come by my office. When she's home and comfortable, she handed him a card. It weighed more than paper should. Monday, 10A.M. He looked at the name embossed in quiet gold. Why? Because you showed me how to be the kind of person my daughter believes I am. Over the weekend, Ethan and Mia visited Lily with flowers sun-colored, Mia declared. The girls traded drawings and gummy bears. Ava was there. No guardrails of assistance, just a mother learning to sit still. On Monday, Ethan stood in a lobby made of light. Startups would sell their souls for one meeting on this floor. He wore his best shirt, the one that made him look like he had a tomorrow. Ava greeted him with coffee and space to be himself. Bring me your plans, she said. The real ones. The messy ones. He unrolled drawings from his backpack, sketches of modular shelves, a rocking chair with a hidden music box, a toy ark with animal pairs, each cut from leftover wood, designs for a workbench with safety guards a child could use, a summer program syllabus, measure twice, math you can touch. Ava didn't interrupt. She asked questions good enough to make him better. What's your lead time? How many pieces? Can you produce alone? Who else could you teach to help? Where would you source wood sustainably? She listened like investors pretend to, and like mothers actually do. Then she said it. Plain as a truth you can lean on. I want to fund Second Chance Workshop. Ethan blinked. Why me? Because some dreams are investments in a city's future, not just in a balance sheet, she said. Because my daughter believes in you, and because the day you stabilized my child's pain, you quietly stabilized mine. He tried to speak. The words collapsed into a breath that trembled. He nodded instead. I don't want ownership, Ava added. I'll give seed funding, mentorship, a small storefront we own on Maple and 3rd. You'll keep control. We'll build a scholarship fund together for kids who need more than a lecture to become who they are. Ethan laughed, a broken, beautiful sound, and wiped at his eyes. I don't know how to repay, you already did, Ava said. You taught me where my money should go. Asterisk paperwork turned into paint smeared on the edges of a new life. The Second Chance Workshop sign went up hand-painted in midnight blue. The grand opening wasn't grand lemonade in plastic cups, a ribbon made from leftover fabric. Mia and Lily holding the scissors together, brave with matching pink casts. Drawn in marker, the first class, filled with kids who talk with their hands. Ethan taught them how wood speaks grain that tells you where to push. Knots that ask for patience, how mistakes can become design if you respect them. He taught them to measure twice and forgive themselves when they didn't. Parents watched through the window as children who struggled to sit still suddenly stood still for an hour. A quiet boy etched his initials into a planter box and whispered, I made this. A girl who never raised her hand sanded the edge of a stool and said, I like the sound the dust makes. Orders came in small waves at first, then larger. Ones after a local reporter filmed MIA, explaining how to check for square. A hotel commissioned 20-story benches where guests could slide open a drawer and find a handwritten note from a kid. This was built by Jordan. Age 10. Be kind to it. Ava stopped by most Saturdays, no entourage, only Lily tugging her hand. She built a crooked birdhouse under Ethan's patient instructions and laughed when the roof didn't meet quite right. Perfect, Ethan said. It tells the wind to behave. They started the Second Chance Scholarship, covering class fees, safety gear, and a small stipend for kids who chose sawdust over screens. The foundation matched donations from ordinary tip people who remembered the first time someone believed in them. And every evening, when Ethan flipped the sign to closed, Mia would scurry to the back, climb onto the work table, and hold up a new sticky note. You did good, Daddy. He saved them all in a jar. Asterisk. Months later, on a golden Thursday, a woman in her 60s walked in. Clutching a newspaper clipping about the workshop, she ran her fingers over the edges of a rocking chair Ethan had finally built to his original sketch. My husband taught shop for 32 years, she said. He used to say wood remembers kindness. He passed last spring. He would have loved this place. She set down an envelope with a small donation and a photograph of a class from 1998's Smiling Kids. Sawdust in their hair. Ethan thanked her. With the reverence due to people who keep the world gentle, that night, Ava sent a message. Board approved, a city grant match. Expansion, okay. 2 more class days, same mission. Ethan typed back. Let's keep the edges human. She replied with a single checkmark emoji and a photograph of Lily Castoff. Feet planted, thumbs up. And somewhere between sawdust and sunrise, Ethan realized what had happened. He had saved a child from pain, and her mother had saved his dream from silence. Not with charity, with partnership. With a door opened and the humility to let him walk through first. On the anniversary of the fall at the park, they all met under the big pine. 2 girls raced down the path, the same one that once betrayed a footstep. They ran more carefully, now, but not with fear, only respect. Race you to the bench your dad made. Lily called. Mia grinned. Only if we both win. Ethan and Ava walked 10 paces behind, carrying thermoses that steamed like small friendly chimneys. You ever miss the quiet? Ethan asked, meaning the kind that used to be heavy. Ava thought about boardrooms, about meetings in which silence was a knife, about a day in an ambulance where silence was a bridge. I don't, she said. Not this kind. They sat. The girls plopped between them, talking over each other about paint colors and a new design for a planter shaped like a whale. The sun climbed a little higher. Ethan reached into his pocket and pulled out a new sticky note. He'd written it himself, this time, in Mia's favorite purple marker. He stuck it to the inside cover of his sketchbook and read it under his breath. We did good. He closed the book, and the future stayed open.